Hello everyone, Lewis from Scrubwood Studios here again with the third unboxing of this most recent haul I've got. Although I do have another model which I do have it has arrived, so I've got to well, I would say unbox, but unbag that one. But it's not in this box here, it came separately because I got it from a different place. So, without further ado, I know exactly what's in here, but for the record, I'll keep it a mystery for now. Let's see, let's have a bit of a feel around, do this old lucky dip thing. Oh, it's upside down. Da, da, da. I think it's 2019 Safari Ltd. Allosaurus. Let's get this thing out of the bag. Now, I'm not going to bother cutting to do that because as per usual with Safari Ltd. products, look at this. Nice perforation, easy to tear, very nice. And wow, I have to say, I'm immediately quite impressed by this thing. Like, the detail on it, like, this thing wasn't very expensive. I think it's a tenner off Everything Dinosaur, or a bit more, maybe more like 12 off Everything Dinosaur. And on the whole, there's a bit of paint missing there, and it's a bit blurry there, but other than that, I'm immediately quite impressed by this thing. Let's jump to a closer look. Okay, now that I've got this weird tray thing off, we can have a look at the model, but first I'm going to have a quick look at the little booklet tag thingy real quick, see what the little fact is. There we go. Allosaurus was a large predator of the Jurassic period and preyed on dinosaurs like Stegosaurus. True, given how we found a Stegosaurus plate with a bite mark that perfectly matches an Allosaurus jaws, I'd say that's pretty likely. But onto the model itself, the scales are lovely, lovely texture. And they don't seem too oversized. They are a bit smudged here and there, but overall... And the teeth are really nicely sculpted, especially considering that it has a sort of semi-lipped look, at least. And quite often Safari Ltd's teeth, like, hold on, if I get the... Where is it? This is the Carcharodontosaurus from Safari, and its teeth... I really like this thing, but its teeth have always been my least favourite thing about it. They were always just a bit blocky and just looked a bit too big to me. But these are really nice teeth. And yet they don't feel too delicate or anything. Like the ones on the Kronosaurus and Giganotosaurus. I could see how those could break. In fact, the ones on my Safari Giga have... There's two teeth which I ended up super gluing in place to make sure, because they were starting to, like, split from too much use. Oh, just knocked into the tripod there. The colours are really quite nice. They're striking, but not unnatural in my mind. Let's get a close-up of this. Of the eye. Can you... Blooming thing won't focus. But overall, let's start with the head. Head's pretty nice shape. The neck is a little short, maybe, I feel like. For an Allosaurus. In fact, like, some people have said this would be better as an A. maximus, also known as Saurophaganax. Which is what I'm going to be using it for in Prehistoric Valley, in case you're wondering why I've got this when I already have the PNSO Allosaurus. That'll be why I'm getting this thing, because I want this to be a Saurophaganax in PV. I'm not really sure. I'm sorry, I'm a bit lost for words. I'm just genuinely quite impressed with it. The one big thing that's jumped out to me that I don't like is, like, the head, okay, all good. Neck, a bit short. The chest and sort of torso area looks great from the side, but when I turn it this way, it just seems a bit too wide. Like, this, like, if you look at it from top down as well, it just seems a bit too front heavy, if you will. Like, these shoulders are too far apart. Like, it just seems a bit too bulky at the front. I would imagine that's for stability reasons, and it is. I'm immediately impressed by how stable this thing is. It stands out really well. But I've got to say, there's the cloaca underneath. Got all of our legal stuff. Got the, oh, I've just noticed, in the roof of the mouth, hold on, can you see? Yeah, there's the air passageways. That's a nice little detail. That's something I'm used to seeing on, like, PNSO figures, but I don't see it on that many Safari ones. I know they're on the car because I just looked at it off camera, but yeah. And the paint job's really nice. So overall, while I do think the proportions are flawed, I would say this is a pretty decent model, especially for the price. So with that, let's get on to some outside photos and some size comparisons. Starting out our size comparisons, we have, in my opinion, probably the definitive Allosaurus, which is the PNSO's Paul. And these two look pretty good next to each other, especially from the side, but when we look at it from the front or top down, you can see what I mean about that chest just being, like, in the shoulders, just being a bit too splayed out on the Safari one. The Safari one definitely stands up better though, so that's probably why. Here's a top-down view, and as you can see, the PNSO ones just looks a lot more streamlined and less front-heavy, if you will. Oh, and the feet, I think, on the Safari Allo, as you can see, are much larger, and I imagine that's also for stability reasons. Obviously the PNSO one comes with a stand, whereas this doesn't, although for the record, I think the stand for the Allosaurus sucks, because it still, like, has warped quite a bit since I got it, even with the stand, so, whereas, I struggle to find a position for it to fit under the Allosaurus, whereas my other PNSO theropods, like the two Carcharodontosaurids I have, they fit really nicely. Anyway, speaking of PNSO theropods, let's bring in this, oh gosh, I keep hitting the camera today, I'm just clumsy for some reason. This is, I believe, meant to be a Jamatsundai, I think I said that correct. But if we want an A Maximus, aka Saurophaganax comparison, here is Donald, who I reviewed pretty recently on the channel. And these two, I think, look pretty nice together, and they will be appearing together in Prehistoric Valley. I can tell you that not in Series 3, neither of these two are likely to appear then, but in the special that is upcoming, they will likely appear. Bringing in some more Jurassic Morrison formation animals, we've got Stegosaurus, the Papo steg to be precise. And maybe the Safari Ceratosaurus. I actually got it to stand up for once. Usually it falls over immediately. Oh, here's a cool one. Oh, I spoke too soon. The Safari Cerato's falling over like an idiot. This is the, just recently identified, the Carnegie 1988 Allosaurus. And wow, this is a pretty good example of just how far Safari has come. I mean, this thing's kind of cool in its own way, for, like a very old figure, but I have to say I do prefer the Safari version. And maybe for one more size comparison, since I always use it, the Collector Deluxe Coolosuchus. So overall, what's my final thoughts on this thing? Well, I definitely like it. I think for the price, it's really good. This thing's way cheaper than the PNSO Allosaurus, and although it doesn't stand up quite as well to some of those nicer PNSO models, for the price and the fact it actually stands up, I say as I almost tip it over, I think this thing's really quite good. Is it the best Allosaurus on the market? Probably not. But I would say it's pretty good value for the price. So if you're looking for a good bargain buy, this could be it. I'm tempted to say this is up there as one of my favourite Safari figures. I'd say out of all the ones I own, this is... I don't think it's my favourite. I think that title goes to either probably to the Kronosaurus, or maybe the 2017 Giga. But this thing's definitely up there. It's a very solid model. I just don't have much more to say about it. It's very solid. I'm going to give it a solid 3 out of 5.